Hello, my name is Matthew Wadstein, and welcome to the Unreal Engine 5 Quick Start course. This course is aimed at new users to the engine, so we're going to go ahead and try to start with getting up and running with the engine and learning how the launcher is used to manage our projects and our content. As a note, this is early access for Unreal Engine 5, so many things are subject to change, such as the launcher itself and the editor. They may not look or work the same as in this video, but we're going to do our best to make sure this is as smooth as we can for you to start learning Unreal Engine. After you have downloaded the launcher and logged in, you should start with this screen. This screen is the portal into the Epic Games Store as well as the launcher. By default, we're going to land on our home page here, and we can see we have access to the Epic Games Store, our library, and the Unreal Engine tab. Since we're just going to be using this for Unreal Engine, if we go into our settings, and we click Hide Game Library, we have the option to disable our game library, and once we go back into the launcher, we now only see Unreal Engine. With the game library hidden, now we can start focusing on Unreal Engine. By default, you're going to land on the Unreal Engine 4 tab, and this is going to give us information about what is going on with Unreal Engine 4, as well as direct links to things such as our news, YouTube, Answer Hub, and the forums. At the top, we have our tabs. Next to UE4, we have the Learn tab. This is a great place to find resources where you can start picking apart projects and samples that Epic has provided. There's also links at the top for documentation and the Unreal Online Learning website. Next to this, we have our marketplace, where you can find free and paid content to accelerate development of your project. Next to this, we have our library. Our library is where we're going to primarily work with projects and content in Unreal Engine. Along the top, we have the installed engine versions. Right now, I have 3 of them installed. You can have multiple engine versions installed side by side. Maybe you have some older projects that need older versions, and you want to use newer versions. Below this, we have the My Projects. This is the listing of all the projects that I'm currently working on and that I have quick access to. Below this, if we scroll down, we have access to our vault. Any of the content from the Marketplace or the Learn tab that you've purchased or received for free will show up in here, and this is where you can add it to your existing projects and create new. As we're focusing on Unreal Engine 5, how do we get access to it? At the top, we have a UE5 tab. As this is in early access, this is how you'll access it right now. On here, we have the ability to download early access, and if we click on it, it's going to go ahead and ask us to agree to any end-user licensing agreement if we have not. I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's going to give us some information. This is not production ready. Unreal Engine 5 is early access. You shouldn't be using it for making completed projects, just mainly for prototyping right now and testing and learning. If we click install, it's going to ask us where do we want to install it, as well as any options. In our options, we have things such as changing if we want starter content, which is extra content like meshes and materials and sounds to just get up and running. Templates, which are quick starts, such as a first-person template or third-person or VR, so we can get quickly up and running. Engine source is helpful when you're working with C++ code. Editor symbols for debugging, that's when you actually crash and you really need to debug. And then a list of all supported platforms that we can choose to install or uncheck if we don't want to use them, such as Android, HoloLens, and iOS. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck the platforms I don't wish to use. That way my install is going to be quicker and smaller. I'm also going to uncheck engine source since I won't be needing that. I'm not going to be working in the source or C++. And just leave the templates and the starter content. Once I have the settings I want, I can hit apply and then install to start the installation process. This may take a while depending on your download speed, but you can see the progress as it is going. One thing to note, I mentioned that you can have multiple engines installed side by side, as we can see here. If you no longer want to use one, you can click the X in the top left to uninstall that version of the engine, and it will install just that version of the engine. Or if you need to change options, you can click on the drop down next to the engine version, go to options, and this will allow you to re-add things such as different platforms or remove things you may not have wanted. The engines are installed separate from your project, so if you uninstall an engine, it's not going to uninstall any projects associated with that, so you don't have to worry. Once the engine has finished downloading and installing, we can now see it side by side with our other versions. And at this point, we're going to want to launch it, wait for it to launch, and then we can start working with our project browser.